Yours truly, Jack the Ripper. Don't mind me giving the trade name. Jack was a very common name in those days, like John is today. You had little Jack Horner, you had Jack and Jill, Jack Sprat would eat no fat. You had Jack Shepherd 100 years before, the famous highwayman. Jack was a very common name. And this letter is supposed to have been written by the editor of the Star newspaper.
Why would he go to all that trouble though?
To make people buy his newspapers, because there was great, furious, absolute... everybody was buying newspapers, and all the newspapers that were springing up on the back of the murder case were in furious rivalry. And this particular gentleman decided he would try and better the odds. He wrote this letter, and 20 years later he went in a solicitor's office and swore on oath that he'd done it.
Have you had these analysed by an
handwriter?
Yeah.
No, the other letter's been analysed by handwriting
Not
experts.
this one?
No, not this
Why?
one. I don't know. I mean, I don't know any reports on it that of handwriting experts that have looked at this one.
But the only thing is, if you look at the writing and then
It's a
look,
very educated
it's
person.
an educated person.
And
It's not somebody who had no education, because they can spell.
It's perfectly spelt, absolutely perfect, not a mistake in it.
Exactly.
It's fine copperplate handwriting, which only the educated classes would have used. Compared to the
This
other
is a
letter, this is so beautifully written, and the other one is so terrible.
Exactly.
So that's why
I don't think
when you look at the two letters together, you can.
I don't think the other man wrote this one either. I think someone wrote it for him, because I don't think he had the intelligence. I don't think he could write.
I think
There's
that
a lot
was
of
done
people
a woman.
couldn't write.
I think that was a
This
woman.
is someone semi-literate who's written
Yeah,
this.
I think
But
it's
the
a woman.
reason this is believable, this came with Catherine's kidney.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is, what my argument is that why do you believe that someone else didn't write that for him?
Well, maybe somebody did, but it arrived with the kidney.
Yeah, but I
arrived with the kidney.
Where did they find the kid? Where did it come to? The police station, the kidney?
No, this was sent to George Lusk, who was head of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee. During these murders, many local men got together and they formed vigilance committees. And George Lusk was a prominent local builder, and he formed a vigilance committee. What they used to do, these vigilantes, they used to go out on the street, stand round on street corners in groups of 4 and 5, hoping to catch Jack the Ripper. Bearing in mind there was all these vigilantes on the street, the whole entire population up in arms,
too clever.
and 100 policemen on the street when Mary Kelly was killed, and they still failed to catch him with all those people.
How do you know that this George,
didn't write
the
that.
local builder, wasn't a Freemason?
Sorry?
How do you know that this George, the local builder, wasn't
A Freemason?
himself?
Um,
Because if he was a local builder, then he had.
We need to check.
yeah, but he was head of the Whitechapel.
That's right.
Vigilance
I honestly
Committee.
think it's something to do with
Freemasons who are in
Freemasons.
Whitechapel.
This was
get
sent
all
through
the
the
lists' names
post.
down
Yeah,
and put them.
They had the envelope.
we'll have to look it up.
We have to.
We have to, because to me, I know you're very good at your job, but there's some things that don't gel to me.
Well,
I
this
definitely think it's
this
it's
letter-
I
Freemasons.
definitely think it's Masonic.
I think that is female, and it's got. It might be linked with his mum.
No, maybe, I
She
don't
might
know,
realise
but
what's
why
done.
should he do that?
I don't think it.
I'll
I think
tell
it's
you
female.
why Jack the Ripper would have written this letter. Because that man who was head of the local Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, Jack would not have liked that, because he brought a load of people to this area, making it more difficult for Jack to operate. People standing around on street corners trying to catch him. Would have made it a lot more
involved, weren't they? They were on every corner.
like a lot more difficult for him to operate. So I think he would have had a down on this man, and that's probably why he sent him the kidney and the letter.
To say I'm around.
You know, and he's addressed it, and the way it's written is really curious, because he says, "Mr. Lusk, sir, I send you half a kidney I took from one woman, preserved it for you. The other half I fried and ate. 'Twas very nice. I may send you the bloody knife that cut it out, if you wait a while longer. Signed, catch me when you can, Mr. Lusk." So he signed it in the name of the man he's sending it to. He signed it as a kind of
How do you
question.
know that's original?
We
How
know-
do you know that is original?
We
What's
know
been-
definitely it's original.
How do you know it's original?
Because it was sent to Lusk with
Yeah,
the
but
kidney at
that,
the time.
what I'm saying is, you've got all your information from books.
No, also from documents kept at Scotland
Well, that's what I'm
Yard.
saying is,
Documents can be doctored.
pardon?
Documents can be doctored.
Yeah, that,
No, but
most
this has
definitely.
been verified 100 times over. It's been Scotland Yard's archives from that time till now.
Well, I honestly think that this man who wrote, I don't think Jack the Ripper wrote that. I don't think he did.
Well, maybe it was a student of the local Whitechapel Hospital.
How do you know? How do you know the police weren't involved in all this?
Well, they're police citizens who
They're
went
all,
and tell
they're
them back
all,
the
they're all
Sonic
in the.
order runs through the
Yeah,
police.
yeah. I still think I'm sorry, but I still think there's a pattern, and I think the Masonic, and I also
And a
think
copycat.
the Masons were
And
involved.
I think the
And a
I think
copycat.
astrology, which has been totally overlooked. I think
well
astrology
covered
is not
up.
something
Yeah, I've
to
The
heard-
do.
police,
yeah.
the
If
you
police
join the
obviously
murder
caught up with
sites-
the murderer.
In a
My gut
certain
feeling.
way,
I
they
think
form
so.
a pentagram.
And also,
Astrology.
you know, on the floor, on
Yeah.
this floor here, there was like footprints on the floor. Because how can you walk away from
Yeah.
blood and not get blood on your feet?
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of this has been hidden. A lot of it has been hidden.
footprints coming out, but by the time he walked up the road, some of it would have worn off.
No,
In the
because
last
this road has been covered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This,
I know.
this was all cobbled, right? So I'm not being, Jenny. I'm not. All I'm getting is there's been a lot of things hidden.
You see, what you're getting is because you're conflicting.
Yeah, you know why I think the
conflicted
police
because
hid
you're going
things?
off-
Because I think the police made mistakes.
Yeah,
And
lot
they
of
realised they'd made
facts.
mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
But you
Psychically,
are going
no.
off psychically, spiritually,
Yeah.
what you're getting fed.
Yeah.
Because only up there know
Yeah,
what's
Exactly.
feeding you.
Unless you actually get hold of
But
Jack the
the thing
Ripper
is,
or
I
get in
think
contact with
the
Mary
police
No,
Kelly.
because they
also,
made
I
mistakes.
think
Big
also-
glaring mistakes.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
They
person
opened the
had.
door and
Listen,
10
let me just say
policemen
this.
flooded
Hold on,
in
hold
the
on,
It
room.
hold on.
had. Let me just say, it had a double. It had a double barreled name,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So whoever wrote this, and I think it was something to do with the police, because I feel there was another letter that we never even seen.
Well, there's 1,094 letters.
Well, I don't know that,
I
but
know
there was a
that.
letter that was written like this.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a lot more letters wrote like this, but there was a letter wrote like this, and they had to decide which one they were going to send.
You've picked that up psychically.
Yeah, and the
Right,
man.
that's
No, listen.
interesting.
And the man who made the decision,
Yeah.
he had a double-barreled name,
Okay.
so it had something to do with the
Anyone to do with
police.
the case, it's got a double-barreled name.
That's quite interesting new information. It's
You understand what I mean?
I
she
can't think of
uses
anyone
that.
famous
Yeah.
to do with the case in the police.
A
There was
lot.
Abeline.
Yeah, and
Yes.
also a lot of these police, you know, there's only certain detectives.
So
So
what
you
they
think
call
the
them.
police
Wouldn't it
made
be
that
Matt
letter up?
Norton, would it?
It might have been, I just don't know, but
Because
it's
they're under
double-barreled
pressure
name.
from
It's
the.
a double-barreled name.
So the police, do you reckon,
And
made
also, I don't know whether the police station was around here.
Yeah, it's
right,
down over there.
But there was using
Yards
another
down
one
there.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
There was two stations involved in this, not just
There was
one.
three,
Three.
four.
Well, there was two close together
Too close
anyway.
together.
Yeah, there's Commercial Street was 100 yards down
Yeah.
here, and then you've got Bishopsgate Police Station,
Yeah.
which is by Liverpool
Yeah.
Street Station, which is about
Right.
200 yards up here.
Can I just also say as well,
Those are the two
right?
nearest.
At one time they thought of leaving a stamp,
Okay.
right? You know, like years ago when they
Yeah,
used to
yeah.
leave a stamp.
Yeah.
Not like the date or anything, but just the stamp.
Right.
And I feel as though, like Jenny said, there's a lot of these letters that have not been seen.
So they might still have the original one.
No, I don't think so. I think
Maybe you got rid of that.
they got rid of it.
So were they under pressure then to
Yeah, because they had to
release
catch
a-
this guy, didn't they?
Gotcha. So they're under pressure, and the police made up a name to release to the press, saying so and so's done it.
To let it lie down a bit.
So it's all covered up.
I
there.
think so. I think there's a lot that's
Right.
been covered up.
Well, the police didn't actually release a name, but what actually happened was that they accused a local man, Aaron Kaminsky, whose family said he was
Huh?
mad because he wouldn't wash and wouldn't get a job.
Yeah.
He was demented, and he used to wander the streets eating out of dustbins. Now, apparently, according to Matt Norton, they arrested Kaminsky and they took him out to the seaside to a police boarding house where policemen used to go on holiday, and they questioned him, but he was so deranged they couldn't get anything out of him. But they released him, according to the police, into the custody of his family. And he lived with his family back in Whitechapel until 1894, when he was incarcerated in a lunatic asylum. And he died somewhere around, I think it was 1919.
So who
And I
is the
honestly
Ripper?
think, right, these murders were done on a certain, either the last weeks of the month.
Right.
It was, like Jill said, something to do with the
Freemasons.
moon and everything. Because
Like
this
to
guy.
give you all the dates. The dates were the 31st of August,
Right.
the
Right.
8th of September.
So I'll,
Right,
like,
that's
yeah.
only
Right,
a
what we
week
need to
apart.
do is we need to check all the Freemasons in London, who is in Whitechapel, London
Yeah.
Bridge, Westminster, whatever.
Yeah.
Get all the names, who was in London that time, and there's your answer.
There's your
And the
answer.
30th of September, and then the 9th of November.
So we're not.
So within 2.5
we-
months this happened.
Yeah.
It's a very
Yeah.
short period
Yeah.
of time.
So who is the
honestly think,
Ripper?
right, these murders were done on a certain.